I want to start with Tiffany Henyard, right?
Oh, my girl.
Now, me and you had that conversation after the last.
I know. That's still my win, lose, or draw. My friends are my friends. I'm a
Well,
loyal woman.
I already told you that sometimes you too loyal to a default, and you
We
got to
talk
stop.
about this all the time, Dana. You always like, P. Ray, you so kind and loyal. Like, But this how the Lord sent me here. So
She's not. She's ousted. She got voted out.
she got voted out in a horrible way. Yeah, so that's it. She can move on with her life. I just hope that now that she's voted out, they don't go harass her and her mother and her child. Again, I know what happened. I know that this was a smear campaign. A lot of stuff she was doing was bogus. But oh my God, was this a smear campaign? And what it showed me is that if they'll do it to Tiffany, they'll do it to me. So that's what I'm really, that's the moral of the story that I got out of the Tiffany situation. But she'll be okay. She was a trustee for 11 years. She was the mayor. She was the Thornton Township supervisor. That's 3 pensions. She all right. Because the game here, at least with the Cook County Democrats, is get as many positions as possible so that you can get as many pensions as possible. And that's why our state is currently in the financial situation that it's in. So she won the game she was playing.
I don't think she's a winner. And you are not going to be. You're going to be very objective when we talk about her.
Yes, of course. I just had to put that out there because I always give it to people straight. But yeah, Tiffany, they got her. Jason House and the people that they were paying to degrade her, they won. Jedediah Brown got on the stage and called her a bitch to her face. They paid a grown man to come to her job and disrespect her in her face because again, this was the game that they were playing. That's why I don't go south of Cermak. I live on the west side of Chicago. I mind my west side business. But I hope that she'll be okay.
Well, all that aside, who called her names, whatever, it's politics. Politics is dirty. If you don't have thick skin, then get out of it.
Correct.
We're talking about her governing, but I want to play this clip here.
In the meantime, very different scene of what was supposed to be Tiffany Henyard's watch party.
WGN's Ben Bradley has her message following the defeat.
Tiffany Henyard was a no-show for her election night party after it became clear that she would lose in a landslide. I did speak with her by phone. She said she accepts the election results. She said, "The people have spoken, and God must have a different plan for me." It was a far cry from the tone that she struck earlier in the day when she insisted that she would win in spectacular fashion.
Hey, y'all.
Well,
Hey, Tiffany. How y'all doing?
Tiffany Henyard defiant on this decision day in Dalton.
Is there anything in hindsight that you would have done differently over these last 4 years?
Yeah, I would have told on the trustees sooner.
The trustees she refers to are her former allies. 4 years ago, they ran as a slate, with Henyard promising transparency and accountability. Instead,
Mayor, we've left you voicemail messages. We had to go to the Illinois Attorney General's office to get you to turn over documents.
residents got a self-proclaimed super mayor who spent tax dollars on travel, self-promotion, and a questionable cancer charity. All of it exposed by WGN Investigates, and now the subject of an ongoing FBI investigation.
But why should residents pay for you to stay at the Four Seasons and a $10,000 bill in
We're
New
talking
York?
about
First-class
the election
travel.
today. So you guys want some good
Those issues are on the ballot,
We've
don't
been
you
talking
think?
about the same thing for 4 years. I've answered every question possible.
You've never answered
So
that.
if you guys want to talk about me winning this seat this evening, let's go. I'll sit down with any of you. But I want some positive press for a change.
Local Democrats refused to slate Henyard for her other job, Thornton Township supervisor, but she told me that she plans to run as a write-in candidate. That election is April 1st. She also said she's not ruling out a run for higher office, but wouldn't speculate about what that could be. She could, though, have bigger problems if the ongoing FBI investigation leads to charges. In Dalton, Ben Bradley,
So, what do you think?
I don't think anything. Again, she ran for office. She tried to do her office. She got, a whole bunch of drama with her office and she got voted out. I mean, I don't understand how people are like, aha, she didn't get it. And you live in bubble fuck nowhere. You know what I'm saying? You're not from Dawson. You're not from Illinois. Not you, Dana, because I love you. But I'm saying the people who have just been playing this, Dalton is still a subpar suburb. It has been that way for decades. Tiffany was not the reason that Dalton is behind on their water bill. They were behind on their water bill under Riley. All of the people who came together and were pushing for Tiffany to get out of there, they still not getting their clerk jobs back. I don't care. You know, I'm sorry that I keep saying it like this. But again, because I look at this, yes, she was taking expensive trips on behalf of the citizens of Dalton. Brandon Johnson went to the Bears game in London. Okay. This is again the culture of the Cook County Democrats. So Tiffany, because she was put in place by Tony Pretwinkle, who is the chairman of the Cook County Democrats and the president of Cook County, along with Brandon Johnson, who was a Cook County commissioner and put in play by Tony Pretwinkle. This is just an example of the corruption in the Cook County Democratic Party, and they're imploding right now. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. She's doing what she was trained to do. They're doing the same thing in every single municipality in and around the Chicagoland area. It's just that she was giving the spotlight to show what it is. And the good thing about this is that now that the spotlight has been put on this culture, hopefully it will change, and then we'll have a better Chicagoland area because people will see how corrupt these Cook County Democrats are.
Well, I do believe, yes, the DNC is corrupt. So I understand. And the DNC is corrupt, no matter what county, what city, or what state you in. But she's part of the corruption. I'm sorry. Now, she probably came in with good intentions, but she was not polished. And I think to a certain degree, she did took advantage of her position in certain things. And after I play this clip, I'm gonna play another clip. I think her listening to her quote unquote man or boyfriend, like most women do, when they in your ear, you doing stuff that they encourage you to do that you don't got no business doing. But this is what really got her not reelected.
Henyard's Thornton Township meeting tonight, and witnesses say Henyard herself jumped onto the pile.
Yeah, so take a look at this. Videos all over social media tonight. It happened as a community activist and frequent Henyard critic was speaking. He apparently insulted Henyard, calling her a name. That's when a witness says Henyard's boyfriend confronted him. That's when the chaos ensued. The witness says Henyard pushed her table out of the way, ran to the back of the room to join in. Police are there. We're going to keep you updated.
And that is why she lost, point blank. And if just because your boyfriend get into a brawl, why are you, as a city mayor, getting up, jumping in? She was too ghetto and not enough professional.
Agreed. However, Tiffany was a trustee for 11 years in Dalton, Illinois. 11. So they knew exactly who she was. They knew that she was unpolished. They knew that she had a different way of communicating, and they loved it. Do you hear me? I was out there the first election. I was there when she got inaugurated. I was sitting out there in the cold. My baby had on a beautiful blue dress. We all froze to watch her be inaugurated. These people knew exactly who she was, Dana. This is new to y'all, not to us. And so that's why I've always been saying, how is she such a terrible, horrible, low down, unpolished, ghetto, street thug, all this stuff y'all want to call her, but you've elected her for 11 years. Now, would P. Ray jump in a man's fight? Absolutely not. Okay, this is why P. Ray traveled with a whole bunch of men every time she goes somewhere, and I got some real men that's ready to clap some ears together if I need them clapped. However, she was out of order in that way. And I will never make any excuses for her doing that. I'm just saying, conversely, this is just a symptom of the culture of the Cook County Democratic Party. And now I think there are going to be some sweeping changes across the board, which is good because we're Chicago red and we want to flip the people away from the Democratic Party. So here we are. So it's a win for us, a loss for Tiffany, but I hope she lands on her feet.
Well, I want to play this because this clip here talks about the man who won because he got 87% and she only got 20 or 12%. So he won by a landslide. And but I want to play this clip because it's also you hear the residents, local business owner, Black business owners, they were talking about their experience with Tiffany Heyward. And a lot of times, listen, if you're not listening to your residents, especially the business owners that are building and creating jobs and want to bring business in, that's a major problem.
WGN Investigates has the day after in Dalton. Mayor Tiffany Henyard lost her re-election badly, earning support from just 12% of voters. Trustee Jason House won the primary with 88% of the vote.
WGN Investigates broke many of the stories that brought down Henyard's regime. This afternoon, we head back to Dalton to talk with some of the people who are ready to put the drama behind them.
You look out here and all you see is abandoned homes, and you see the businesses boarded up that's been like that for years. How do we bring this back?
Tiffany Kamara thought she had a bright idea to bolster South Suburban Dalton. She assumed the support of Mayor Tiffany Henyard would be a no-brainer.
I'm happy to announce that these two Black African-American business owners, y'all give it up for them, business owners, yeah, Tiffany and Patrick, they're about to put up an upscale, sit-down food restaurant.
The mayor was at the groundbreaking in 2023, but the relationship soured when Kamara says Henyard refused to issue a liquor license, putting the entire project in jeopardy. A lawsuit says Henyard's boyfriend used to own the land the new restaurant and event space sits on. What do you think the delays were all about?
They wanted to take over the building.
A judge finally ordered Henyard to issue the license last month.
Our house, everything is on the line here right now. Everything is on the line. And all we wanted to do is bring a business here for Dalton.
There are stories like this all over this south suburb. Are you a victim of the dysfunction in Dalton?
Absolutely, but more so, residents are victims. Would you like some of these?
More than a year ago, pantry operator Nicole Scott told us how her plans to develop a dilapidated Dalton shopping center were stymied by her refusal to support the mayor.
Don't want to be in politics, but I was told that when I purchased this huge property that I was automatically in politics. But that's not the goal at all. The goal is to serve the community in a greater capacity.
When trustee Jason House won overwhelmingly.
And tonight is the new day for the community of Dalton.
Scott was in the crowd, in the shopping center, whose development Henyard's team once blocked.
This whole building will be bustling with activities, events, and it's really a historical moment, bigger than this room, bigger than this space, this moment, because lives will change, not just in Dalton, but in the South Suburban area forever.
On a cold morning, a few days before the election, trustee Brittany Norwood said she hoped Henyard's ouster would mean drama and dysfunction would no longer be synonymous with Dalton.
Our residents are getting a little weary also, so they're ready for this to all come to an end and for our town to go back to little old Dalton.
What does Election Day mean to you?
It means a lot. That would be the day or the start of the day to revitalize Dalton.
Jason House will face an independent candidate for mayor in the general election on April 1st, but Democrats have dominated Dalton politics.
All right. So again, if you are not supporting your local businesses and making sure that they have their licenses, a little bit of less red tape, because they're bringing in economic revitalization. Why are you giving them a hard time? So again, if you're not paying attention to your constituents, you're going to lose, fight or no fight.
Dana, this how it goes in Chicago. There's a woman who has an organization or is a part of an organization that's very similar to mine, that has a very similar name to mine. And the reason that she got involved and initially reached out to me is because she has a business. She bought a storefront in Chicago. She wanted to make it her business, and the city of Chicago will not give her the proper permits. This is how it goes in Chicago. Even with me, remember my house burned up, right? But luckily for me, my house is held in a family trust instead of my own name, because if it was in my own name, I know that the city would not give me the permits needed to rebuild my home. This is the culture of the Cook County Democratic Party. I'm not saying that it's right. That's why I got Chicago Red, because we're trying to get away from all of that. But what I'm saying is what Tiffany was doing was not unique to Dalton. Dalton is still Dalton, Illinois. It's a little bitty municipality that was abandoned by the manufacturing districts, and it's blighted, not as blighted as most suburbs, but it's was never a true suburban town in the sense of what we think of suburbs are. The little towns outside of Chicago, especially in the Southland, were Black towns that were supported by a manufacturing base or the steel mills, like how the Jackson's dad, he worked in the steel mill in Gary, right? So because we're right on the banks of Lake Michigan, we had a lot of manufacturing, but then that manufacturing went, we had a bust, and those suburbs have been suffering ever since. So it's nothing that Tiffany did. They had Mayor Riley in office for over 20 years. So how could this lady in 4 years ruin a municipality that has been suffering for decades? That's always been my thing. But again, I don't live in Dalton. I don't go out south. I don't go south of Cermak normally. If I was going out there, it was to go see some people and come on back, because I know that they have always been suffering. They got infrastructure issues. Water mains break out there. The schools are not good. The quality of the houses are not good. They don't have grocery stores. Like, it is blighted there. And I don't think it's fair that all of that got put on Tiffany's shoulders, nor do I think it's fair that people are saying, oh, she was holding back permits from people who don't support her, because that's what she was taught by the Cook County Democratic Party. So if that is an issue that America wants to take up and everybody wants to get all bent out of shape about, donate to us at chicagored.org so that we can get rid of this whole system, because it's not just Dalton that's dealing with that. We deal with that right here in the city. This is what they do. This is a gangster town. But Tiffany got out gangstered by some other gangsters. And here we are. Again, I hope that she lands well, but this is what they do, America. This is what they do. They will take everything from you. They will slap fines on your building. I met a woman yesterday who told me that she put a daycare on the south side in an Irish ward, didn't go kiss the ring, and the alderman threw $5,000 worth of fines on her building, and she had to go to court and fight. The fines were eventually thrown away, but it's the time, it's the energy. This is who they are. So, if I was to say anything against Tiffany, it would be that this is what happens when you choose to follow an evil political party like the Cook County Democratic Party.
Well, sometimes you don't have a choice, because the DNC, the Democrat Party, you talking about donors, if you don't have the backing of Republican or Democrat that dominate in these districts, you're not going to win an election majority of the time, unless you already have a very strong following in a community, especially if you're starting, let's say council person, and you work your way up. But other than that, when you are relying on your political party, it is like you said, it is very corrupt. So you don't have a choice but to what do you call it? Play along to get along. And maybe she wanted to do some things differently, but it's just that it was just too much loudness of rhetoric and not enough business. And she didn't make it any better. And I'm not saying her intentions were bad. I'm just saying she didn't make it any better being extra. And I'm not going to
rambunctious by being rambunctious. Now, yes, that's her natural personality. That's what I'm saying. These people wanted this, Dana. They wanted this. Is why I have no sympathy for these people in Dalton. And it has nothing to do with Tiffany being my friend, right? Because I met Tiffany on some business stuff. And when I met her, she was a trustee. She said, girl, I'm finna run for Mayor Dalton. I said, okay, girl, I'm gonna save your number in my phone as Mayor Tiffany because you gonna win. So that's how I know her. You know what I'm saying? Just through me again, showing love like I always do. But this is what they wanted. This is what they signed up for. And if she would have been successful in getting those fired clerks their jobs back, we would not be here. If she wasn't into it with the lead anchor at Fox 32 over her baby daddy, we would not be here. People are saying her intentions were bad. She wanted to get over. This is what they do in Chicago. I don't know why y'all don't understand it because y'all not from up here. But if you were from up here, you would know Dalton, Chicago, Harvey, Robbins, Posen, everything. All of these places are operating in the same way. It is the playbook of the Cook County Democratic Party. So we're going to blame Tiffany. But we also going to put the big blame on them because they're the ones who are appointing leadership in and around the county that has left everybody in debt and everybody in a state of chaos. That's what I'm saying. So, yes, I put the blame on Tony Prettwinkle. I hope Tiffany land on her feet. But we got to change the culture of leadership up here. And that gangsterism is dead. Nobody's scared of anybody anymore. We're not scared of these people. So yes, we're going to call you out. Yet no, we're not going to play your games because we are full Americans and we deserve full access to every municipal service that we are entitled to.
Dana with your data. Dana with your data.